back to another Wuthering Waves recipe video. It's been a while since I've done a dish from Wuthering Waves, but it's a new year and I'm back. Today we'll be looking at the sweet and sour pork. Based off the image, this is an exact version of the real life sweet and sour pork dish. As always, the written recipe will be in the description below, and if you want to see more Wuthering Waves cooking content, please consider subscribing and letting me know what other dishes from this game you'd like to see. Without further ado, let's begin. Let's start by talking about the meat. There are a few options when it comes to what cut of pork you can use. I personally suggest pork shoulder, but sometimes markets only sell those in very large amounts. You could also use pork belly. I'm using pork loin here. Do I suggest using this cut? Not really, because it's pretty low in fat content, but it does work. The reason I'm using this over pork shoulder is this was on sale, and we gotta save money in this economy. And since I'm only feeding myself, I didn't want to buy a whole chunk of pork shoulder just for this recipe. Regardless of what cut you use, cut the pork into roughly 1-inch pieces. In a bowl, place the pork, then minced onions, grated ginger, and grated garlic, then cornstarch and baking soda. The baking soda is going to help tenderize the pork. And finally, soy sauce. Stir to combine and fully coat the pork. Let this marinate for at least a couple of hours. While the pork is marinating, let's prepare the sauce. Once the actual cooking starts, the process gets a little fast-paced, so we want to prepare everything in advance. For the sauce, drain the liquid of a can of pineapples. Reserve the pineapples for stir-frying later. In the bowl, add ketchup, apple cider vinegar, soy sauce, oyster sauce, sugar, cornstarch, and I forgot to add this before whisking, but also water. Whisk until everything is dissolved and then set aside. After the pork has finished marinating, sprinkle all-purpose flour and mix into the pork. Leave this alone for a few minutes. This will mix with the marinade and act like a dredge for the cornstarch coating. Coat each piece of pork with cornstarch and deep fry in 350 degrees Fahrenheit oil for 3 to 4 minutes. Be sure to do this in batches as to not overcrowd the pan with pork and lower the temperature too drastically. Once all of the pork has been deep fried once, let the oil heat back up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and then deep fry all of the pork again for 1 minute. Once again, deep fry in batches as to not overcrowd the pan and lower the temperature. Here is all of the pork after being double fried. Set aside. Heat up a pan on high heat and add oil. I don't own a wok, but if you have a wok, this is where you would use it. Add in grated garlic and ginger and stir fry for 30 seconds. This next step is optional, but I'm stir frying chopped red and green bell peppers. Bell peppers are very commonly seen in sweet and sour pork dishes, but the version in Wuthering Waves does not have it. I personally love bell peppers, so that's why I'm adding them in, but I won't be adding them back into the dish until after I finish recording. Now add the canned pineapple as well as the sauce. Let the sauce start boiling and then simmer for about 1 to 2 minutes. I noticed my sauce was a little too thick, so I added some water to thin it out. After the simmering process, you want the sauce to leave behind empty space when being dragged through the pan. Now add the pork in and coat with the sauce. Don't let the pork just sit in the sauce. Toss quickly to coat the pork and serve it as soon as possible. Serve it onto a plate and garnish with a random green herb because Wuthering Waves is weird like that. And that completes the sweet and sour pork recipe from Wuthering Waves. Enjoy with a steaming hot bowl of rice, and it really is that classic dish you might get from your favorite Chinese American place. Of course, I said I was going to add my bell peppers in, and this really completes the dish for me. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you all enjoyed. Please subscribe to the channel for more cooking content and leave a like on the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.